So, when we're talking about productivity, the things that authors tend to focus on are things like tips for writing faster, tips for organizing, and things like that. But it's also super, super important to be taking care of your health, your body, doing some exercise. So, that's what we're going to be talking about right now. And I want to just preface this by saying I'm certainly not advocating that you need to become, like a triathlete or reach a certain body weight or anything like that. I just want to bring to mind some of the common sense reasons why taking care of our health in the end is for sure going to benefit our creativity and our productivity. So I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes I like feeling motivated. I get motivated by reading studies about certain things. So instead of me just wagging my finger saying you all should exercise or something, I know for me, it's helpful to hear kind of the science behind some of these proven methods. And again, this section is going to be a lot of common sense stuff. But if you're like me and like the science side of it, I wanted to share some of that with you too. So there was a study that was done that compared employees and their productivity on days when they exercised versus days when they were sedentary. When they exercised, they completed their work 22% more often on time than they did on the non-exercise days. They also took fewer unscheduled breaks when they exercised. So if you're the kind of person who's saying, Alana, I don't have time to exercise, I'm way too busy, this is some incentive and some encouragement for you that you can actually get more done if you take a little bit of time out of your day to exercise. Additionally, the author life isn't just about being productive, right? It's not just about showing up and doing the work. That's important, but it's also about creativity. And there have been other studies that show that even just taking a slow, leisurely walk can increase some of your creative problem solving skills very significantly. And the benefits last for hours after your walk. And so even something as simple as a 20-minute stroll in the middle of your workday can be great for your body, obviously, but also for your productivity and your creativity in the right now, right? I think we all know that in the long run, exercise is good for us physically, but it can be really helpful to also think about it. Okay, if I exercise today, that's going to make me more productive today, more creative today, and more motivated today. That can be really helpful. I also want to encourage you to just keep track of the foods that you eat that leave you feeling really sluggish. I'm not saying that you need to swear off any type of food, but there are some foods, if you indulge too much in them or have them too often, they can make your brain feel sluggish, and that's going to hurt our productivity as well. So I'm not the kind of person who says cut everything out cold turkey if you hear it might be bad for you, but I do encourage you to just pay attention to your body. If overeating or sugar or whatever it might be for you leaves you feeling really mentally foggy and slow, that's going to be bad for your productivity as well. So just keep an eye on that side of things. I also want to talk about how important it is to be getting good sleep. This is another one of those ones that sounds counterintuitive because if you're really, really busy, you might just say, okay, well, if I wake up an hour earlier, boom, that's one extra hour in my day to write. But if you're not making that hour back in sleep, you're actually sabotaging both your long-term productivity because there are long-term health consequences and also your short-term productivity, because being tired is one of the biggest factors that's going to lead to that mental fog that we just talked about. So sometimes even like a super quick power nap is going to make it so that you can work twice as much as you would have been able to otherwise. So even if it feels counterintuitive, you say, I cannot take a half-hour break to take a walk or to take a nap. Really, the way to look at it is if you get to that point where your body needs that break or needs some exercise or needs a nap and you give your body what it needs, then you're going to be able to be that much more productive for the rest of your day. And then one last thing I want to touch on are just some of the health issues that can come up when you're at the computer all day. And so these are things like back pain, shoulder pain from being like slunched over our keyboards, sitting a lot. If you can transition to a stand-up desk, that can be great for your joints, for your ergonomics. I like using my ergonomic keyboard and doing some stretches for my wrists. That helps keep my carpal tunnel manageable. And for me also, because being at the computer for too long leads to eye strain, I have special glasses that you can get that tint out some of the blue light that is the worst cause of the eye strain. Even just stepping away from your computer, looking at something far in the distance, these are all ways to help your eyes as well. So I really encourage you, don't wait until you get some kind of debilitating issue like back spasms or eye strain that's so bad you can't even keep your eyes open before you start to look at better systems to be healthier. There was a season where I had to take about 6 weeks away from the computer completely because of carpal tunnel. Let me tell you, it is way, way easier to just remember to do my stretches every day than to go 6 weeks without being at the computer at all. So little tiny changes now that will have a huge impact, both in your present day productivity, but also in your long-term health. These are all things that we can be focusing on and doing what we can to every year be getting a little bit healthier and paying more and more attention to these kinds of things.